Hi, I'm GeekBeardly. I'm here at MC Vegas with my friend Hermit, and this is my Gyome deck. So this is my Gyome Strixhaven deck, and Gyome is a 4-mana 5/3 trampler that on the end step you get a food token if for every non-token creature that enters the battlefield under your control this turn. You can pay 1, sacrifice the food to make a target creature indestructible until end of turn and tap it, which opens up a huge amount of possibilities for control and protection. You can protect your board from a board wipe. You can tap down blockers, make your attackers indestructible and just trample over. So he's really versatile commander. So the deck is all Strixhaven cards, and you've got a lot of options in the Witherbloom school. First, we've got actually one more recent is I found you've got more of a Voltron package with Willow Dusk and Witch's Clinic. You give Gyome some lifelink, and then with Willow Dusk's ability, you pump him up, and if nobody has an answer for that, he gets really scary really fast. So I love that interaction. We run a couple board wipes. One is the Essence Pulse. It depends on your life gain this turn. The Strixhaven Archives were really good for this deck because it allows you to pull in spells you wouldn't normally see in the plane, like the Crux of Fate. And then one of my favorite ones is the Culling Ritual, which wipes small things and gives you mana for it. And if you've got a lot of tokens from your foods or from pests, it can really give you a boost to cast a bunch of stuff. We have a small tutor package. Again, from the archives, you get like a natural order, and you get the Great Demonic Tutor. And this one is a really interesting one. Ecological Appreciation kind of lets you kind of get anything if you pay enough mana, but it's real flavorful. It's not as good as the others, but you know, I like it a lot. Another way to win in this deck is through the pinging, the classic pinging with Dina, and you've got Professor Onyx and the Witherbloom Apprentice while you're casting your spells, because Strixhaven is a very instant and sorcery heavy plane, so you're going to be doing this a lot, so this really helps. I've had many games where Witherbloom Apprentice is like the worst thing everybody has ever seen. And we like to run some payoffs for the life gain. You've got the Ezra Root Channeler. It reduces the cost of your creature spells based on your life gain. You've got the Marshland Bloodcaster that you can start paying life to cast your spells, which, you know, once you're gaining enough life, 7 life for casting a Beledros Witherbloom is pretty backbreaking for most people. And again, whenever you gain life, you can recur something with the Vane Witch Coven, so really cool stuff. We run a pretty good suite of instants and sorceries that can do most utility stuff. You know, you got Sign in Blood for some card draw. Rush Rebirth is a great card. When an opponent's creature is going to die, you can cast it on their creature. When they want to board wipe your creatures, you can get a new creature. Like many times, you know, you got Beledros out. They want to get rid of Beledros because Beledros gives you so much value. You cast this on Beledros, you can get a 6 or less drop coming in, and that's instant speed, so awesome. And then Plumb for the Forbidden is one of the best guard draw spells in this deck because you're making a lot of pests usually, and for every pest that you sacrifice, you copy the spell, and that is just good value. And speaking of the Pest package, you've got the good stuff. You've got some hate with Valentine. Most people really do not like having their creatures exiled. Blex likes to make them bigger, stronger, and harder to deal with. Beledros just gives you every upkeep, you get a pest, more and more, and then you can untap your lands for the paltry cost of 10 mana or 10 life. And then the Sedgemoor Witch is a great card. I wish this was legendary because I would totally build a mono black spell slingy token deck with this. Every time you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you make a pest. So great card, great card. And since you're in black and green, you've got to do some recursion. We've got stuff like Revival Experiment, you've got Restorative Burst, Regrowth in the archives, a Healing Technique, which can be a little political with the technique cards, because you can say, hey, would you like to return something too? And then you get a copy. And same thing with the Incarnation Technique, because, you know, you always want to put stuff in your own graveyard. With Gyome, since it's always non-token creatures, sometimes you really want to cast really small things to kind of trigger that food generation. So you got stuff like the Unwilling Ingredient and the Eye Twitch. They do things when they die, which is really cool, or when they're in the graveyard. So they double duty on that. And got some cool removal. You got the Mortality Spear, which costs less as you gain life, which of course you're going to. You got a Corrosive Grip, got your Putrefy, and then you got a little bit of protection with the Snakeskin Veil. Saved Gyome a few times. So then the other interesting cards I love in this deck, you've got one of the cooler mana rocks they've done in the last few years, the Strixhaven Stadium. If you attack with a bunch of pests, you get a lot of point counters, and you can kill somebody right away. Another win con in the deck is the Blossoming Bog Beast. Gain a lot of life, get the Trample, get the XX, you know, classic overrun, but with the life gain thing. Really interesting card. The Fixed Bob, I think, because you get to basically choose an opponent to get an extra card, but you lose a life based on it. So a little more political, which I really dig this. And then the Wandering Archaic is one of the coolest cards. It's caused so many cool memories. I had a game with Sheldon Menery and Gavin Verhey earlier this year with this deck, and caused a lot of mayhem and lots of laughs by copying spells and trying to politic that way. So, and then since it is a food deck, I like to try to collect a variety of food tokens, because, you know, he wants to experiment with a lot of ingredients. So we've got the cool Lunar New Year promo, the rabbits eating some cool noodles and stuff. Got this really cool proxy one, courtesy of the Hermit Druid. We got some bone marrow, looks like, and things like that. It's really cool. We got sushi and a cool giant hamburger. And yeah, just adds a little bit of cool flavor, and you can collect all the cool tokens from the community, and people get a kick out of seeing some interesting artwork. But overall, it's a really interesting, grindy life gain. It can hang with a lot of different decks, and I really enjoy it. And I do a lot of these plain themed decks, so look them up if you want to. Have a great one. Thank you.